Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me all right? Good morning. Hey, Nana's hands. Good morning. Can you hear me okay? How are you guys doing this morning? It's like storming in most of Florida, and I think there's like an actual, like a depression or something coming through. Not a I think it's already like there's a hurricane spinning, but I think it's like going to turn into a depression, I think. So, hey, good morning. Thank you. Hey, Claudette, good morning. Loud and clear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys, it's Tuesday, and it is a great Tuesday. I cannot complain. I'm a little bit, I feel like, you know how when you feel like you're starting to get a little bit of something? I feel like that. Like, so I'm going to be drinking tons of tea today, a bunch of orange juice, just to kind of head off anything that's coming. It's cold in California, 48 degrees. Oh my God. That is cold. How cold does it actually get? Like, what's the coldest it gets in California? Like, what's the coldest? Does it ever snow there? You're off. No sound. Oh, okay. So I do have sound. Okay. Yeah. It's a stormy day. So today we're going to talk more like, I have a few topics that I want to cover today, but so we'll kind of cover through the topics. So of course, guys, I always want you to chime in. Before I get really started good, I'm going to step off camera, which I don't like. In the mountains. Yeah, I guess it would get, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Hey, Helen, good morning. How are you? I forgot to turn my fan on. So I'm going to turn my fan on. So you're going to just see my butt move really quickly. Again, I'll be right back. Okay, let me just turn my fan on. It's a little warm in here. Okay. All right. Okay, good. Sorry about that. Hey, good morning, Gina. How are you doing? You doing okay? Nana says it's freezing. Nana's hand says it's freezing in California. Where are you from, Gina? And is it cold there? I feel really fidgety this morning. Good. So I start off by saying today is a great day. Today is my daughter's birthday. So despite the fact that I'm feeling a little bit of something, today is about her. It's about celebrating her. So I have a topic that I want to discuss today, but I'm gonna just disclaimer it. I'm literally gonna do 45 minutes to an hour. That's it. I've got to cut it off because I really want to make sure that I prepare some stuff for her. She didn't want a party this year. She wanted specifically me to create like her favorite things. So she likes my homemade bread. She wanted some teriyaki meatballs from scratch. And then I make this sticky rice that she loves. So all that's going to cost me to do a little bit of preparation. So I'm definitely going to put my energy into this morning and we're going to talk. And then I'm going to jump off and do a few things that I'm doing as it relates to crocheting. And then it's all about my daughter while she's in school. So I'll be creating. Oh, wow. Good morning, everyone. Naturally Amazing Way. How are you? Christy's Creation. Oh, you guys are rating me from Triple C. Oh, Dana, thank you. Ashley's Life. Good morning. The McCrazies. I follow you guys. Good morning. Guys. Hey, Joe. Good morning. You guys are so sweet. My daughter is 14. She's 14, guys. Oh my gosh. And you know what she says every day? She says, I'm going to be driving next year. That's what she likes to say to me. Like, we can't even get through 14 without her tormenting me about how she's going to be driving. Crazy. Hey, Dana, good morning. You guys are amazing. Hey, Julie, good morning. I hope you guys enjoy it. And I told them earlier, guys, before you got here, I'm feeling, a little bit of something. So my voice keeps kind of going in and out, but I'm drinking my tea and I'm drinking my orange juice, and we're not going to claim anything. We're just going to keep pushing through. You know what I mean? So, hey, Wendy Bell, Donna, good morning. You guys are amazing. Good morning from California and happy birthday. Oh, thank you. She'll love to hear that. Thank you, Donna. So, like I was saying, guys, what I wanted to always like to start off by saying thank you to everyone that stopped by my live even after it airs. I always appreciate the feedback when you guys come back in and just conversate with me. You guys really, really have to know. And if you don't, I'm going to just say it. Every single view, every single comment means so much to me. And I've built my channel that way, all of my platforms that way. And I don't look at them as views. I don't look at them as clicks. I look at them as people taking their time to, support me or to get something from me that I've provided. So I really appreciate it. So Helen Harris, I want to thank you so much. You always check out my replays and I always, always appreciate it. Thank you so, so very much. Okay, what do we got over here? Oh, Fordman, aka Kenneth Oaks, thank you for coming by. I hope you like it. You're from Tennessee, USA. Cool. I'm so glad you connected with me. Oh, you have a 13-year-old in the 8th grade. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's my daughter, 13 in the 8th grade. Well, 14 today. Hi, good morning, Nancy Hooks on Crochet. Hey, Jan, how are you? You guys are amazing, 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 amazing. Okay, so two quick housekeeping things I want to discuss really quickly. I have, I guess you guys know, if you followed me from before, I did a blog hop before. Blog hop is basically an option for creators to create in a space where all information is going to be shared with you guys and you can go and get free patterns. You have to kind of go on a little treasure hunt. So typically you would go to one blog, which will lead you to the original designer and then back to Rivalry where you get a free pattern. So there is some steps in there, but I participated in a blog hop last month, did very, very well. And so I'm participating in another one. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see the post there. I suggest go check them out because that's a good way for you guys to get free PDF patterns of crochet items. Even if you don't read a pattern, that is a perfect way for you to get started learning something new as it goes to crocheting. So I'm assuming, being that you're on the YouTube platform, you're more of a visual learner, you're more of a hearer, but patterns are a great way for you to just take your craft to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So I'm participating in a blog hop with oh, Lord help me. It's called Winter Hague's Blog Hop. And the name of the young lady, I'm not going to do this to her. Let me get the name because I am bad with names, guys. But today is my free pattern. So if you saw my tutorial on, music started playing. If you saw my tutorial on these, I created a couple. I'm doing a free pattern today. So over on Rivalry, once you get the coupon code, you can get the free PDF pattern for these today only. So check me out on Instagram if you want that information. And before hold on one second, guys. Joy of Motion. See, I didn't want to mess up her name. Joy of Motion. She's hosting this blog hop, okay? So check it out on Instagram. I'll link my information so you guys know how to get there. But today, let me look over here, make sure I'm not missing anybody. You guys are chatting it up. I love it. Sometimes music starts playing and goodness, we'll be flagged. Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys for handling it over here in the chat. Listen, guys. Okay. This is what we're discussing today. We are going to be discussing, and I'm pulling out my notes. If you guys follow my website, my blog, which a lot of people do not, because that's really where I've been putting a lot of my stuff over there. But if you do, you already know a lot of this information. But if you don't, I'm going to tell it to you. We're going to talk about a subject that can be a little bit taboo, but very necessary. Okay, it is how to turn your crochet hobby into income. Now, people don't like to talk about income. There's things that I have learned in my short time on this earth. You don't mess with people's food, you don't mess with people's children, and you don't mess with people's money, right? But today we're going to pull back some layers a little bit, and we're going to talk about how we can turn our passion, our gift into income. And this is not like, how do we get rich? This is not a get rich scheme. This is literally putting value to what you do. and it's very difficult, guys, to transition from a hobby to a business. It's a mindset that you have to conquer. And I'm talking from my experience, and I can't add to anyone else. So some people are born with the spirit of entrepreneurship, and I envy those people. But there are people that really have a gift, but they don't know how to turn that gift into profit or into income for them. And some people don't even want to do that. So there's that space too. For me, I never wanted to turn my hobby into income because I didn't value it. I didn't see how I could, honestly. And when I started getting, when I got my first yarn sponsorship, I was like, wow, how cool is it to be able to get yarn to do what I love to do? You know what I mean? So then it turned in from that yarn sponsorship turned into, if I could just make $10 to buy enough yarn to create my next project. And that's kind of how it just kind of developed. So I'm going to just talk to you. I have a few tips on how you can get started. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how to turn your hobby into income. And I hope that's something that interests you all. And if it doesn't, that's fine. Maybe take the information and share it with someone that might be interested in doing that, right? So, okay, let me pull up, while I'm doing this, let me pull up my website so that way we can kind of have a candid conversation. And then I can get you guys' input too. Like, what do you guys think? You know what I mean? So let's see, let me check over here. I want to be engaging to you guys as well. Hey, Still Show. Hey, Veronica, how are you doing? Thank you, Foreman. And I'm always going to mess up. Is it Amalia? Good morning to you. Hi. You started your first shawl? Today I'm starting my first shawl. I'd like to email it to you when I'm finished. Naturally Amazing. Is that for me? Is that to me? I would love to see a picture of that. Ethel Yarborough. Good morning. Good morning, Ethel. How are you? That was my grandmother's name, Ethel. Knit Pearl Squirrel with Granny D. I love that name. I love your channel name. You're already a subscriber, but I haven't visited much. I came over from Dana. Oh, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Craft by the Rose. Good morning. Hey, Tiffany. Good morning to you. Awesome. Thank you. Please send it. I would love to see it. Chiquita, good morning. Good morning. Okay. So I'm going to jump into what I can say good morning all morning because I love to greet you all. Let's just talk about this topic here. And like I said earlier, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep my time. I'm going to keep my time, guys. Even if you see me going, over 11, shout it out over there just because I really want to make sure that I dedicate this day to my daughter. So I don't want to go over. Okay. So I want to stay focused. Okay. So with that being said, let's jump into the topic. And I hope that this is information for you guys. I literally think of information like you might hear it one time and it doesn't sit with you, but you might hear it again and it sits with you. It's the same thing with even like scriptures in the Bible. When you're reading something one time, you might hear it from one pastor, you go to a visiting church, you hear it and it just sits with you. So I'm going to give you the information from my perspective. And if it sits with you, great. And if not, maybe it will give you something to think about and maybe somebody else can give you that information and it sits with you. You know what I mean? So a few ways, there's a ton of ways that you can start making money. I'm going to talk about them from how I think, would be most beneficial from the first part. Okay. So let's just think about it like this. My husband sent me this quote just this morning, actually, and I want to read it to you. The quote goes, "You're so busy doubting yourself why so many others are intimidated by your potential. So you're so busy doubting yourself while so many others are intimidated by your potential." You know what I mean? So you don't even realize how great you are to somebody else. So when you change your mindset from, I just created this dishcloth, to I'm going to give this dishcloth away, to I'm going to sell this dishcloth for $5. You have to really think about that and say, how am I going to transition from my giving to saying a receiver. You know what I mean? Because honestly, guys, your talent crocheting, and I'm speaking from a crochet standpoint, but it could be any gift that you have. Your talent is yours, right? And so many people can look at it and put value to it, but you have to value it first. And sometimes when we just keep giving away our talents and giving away things, um, it's not bringing back to you what it could be. I'm not saying don't give stuff, but I'm saying if you decide in your mind that you want to change your mindset, think about it from that perspective that don't doubt yourself. Jump into it. Let's go. You know what I mean? And then see where it goes. And it could be small goals. Like I said, all I really wanted to do was make enough money to buy my own yarn, to buy the yarn that I want to create stuff. Because if you are, once you get into the craft of crocheting, or once you get into any craft, because at one point I was into polymer clay. At one point I was into making, my brother's into beading, and he got me and my husband into beading. But there's stuff for every craft that you're involved in. And it can really you can spend more money than you're actually making, even when you make the transition to try to start selling your stuff. So you have to kind of keep that mindset too. Okay, so the first, hey, good morning, sunshine. How are you guys faring down there with the weather? Thanks for clicking back in, guys. Okay, first thing I'm going to say is create a blog. Now, creating a blog, that there is a technical component to that. But I suggest that you take the time to learn how to do that. And there are different types of blogs, guys. There are hobby blogs where literally you're just putting your information out there. Advertisers are advertising on your site, and you're not making any of the income, right? Those are good to get you started. That's just get your feet wet into the ideal of creating a blog. But if you really want to, if you foresee yourself wanting to make any kind of income from your crocheting, create a blog. And excuse me, guys, hold on a second. Sorry. Create a blog where you are going to be able to have advertisers advertise on your website. Anytime someone comes to your website and they're clicking around and they're getting those free patterns that you're putting out there, the free stuff that you're giving them, there is a give back that you can receive just from them going to your site. Once you start creating blog content and start, putting all that stuff down, it can be very time consuming. So it would be really good if you knew that you were doing this, something that you already love doing, sharing, but you're going to get, money on the back end saying, okay, here's $1, here's $2. Imagine if you had, $1 every time someone stopped by your website and you had 5,000 people stop by your website. It doesn't work quite like that, but just imagine, right? Now we're starting to make money with our hobby, with our gift, So I think that's really important to understand. Yes, Dana, you have to start a blog because, like I say, it's really about that passive income. You've done the work. Especially, I'm going to say it like this. If you've already, and we're going to talk about this, but if you've already started making patterns, if you've already started sharing your creations, then a blog is really the next step because some people are, we all have different ways of learning. Some people learn through visual, which is why YouTube is so popular. Some people learn through listening. Some people learn through actually reading things. So if you're already writing patterns, you might as well put it in a space that if someone goes to get that pattern, you're going to make something from that. You know what I mean? So I would always say start there. On my website, I have a little spot on there that says how to make a blog. There are so many avenues. There are so many resources. And I like to point to my space just because I did my own research and put it there for you all. And I'd like to say that I did it in a way that anybody can understand it. But like I said before, if you don't get it from me, absolutely get the information and then research it further and see if you can get better clarity and better understanding. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's so important that you guys look into starting a blog. You'll see things like Wix and all those other type of blogs. I don't know enough about it to speak negatively or positively about it, but you want to just make sure go over and check that out. But you want to make sure that at some point you can monetize your blog through ads. Okay. That's going to be important. Okay. So, like I said, I don't want to deep dive into how to create a blog. Maybe if that's something you're interested in, I can do that. But I do have information over on my website. So that's the first way. Start a blog. Put the information that you have inside of you out there to people to read and understand it, okay? Second thing you want to do, and people already do this. I think this is probably the first thing that most crocheters do. We sell our crochet items. You have to sell your crochet items, right? There are some things, like I said before, that your mind plays tricks on you. It's like, how much should I sell this for? You know what I mean? You spent X amount of dollars on yarn. You spent X amount of time creating it. What is it worth? Okay. That's something that you have to also think about. I came up with, I didn't come up with this, but I saw another really great quote that I want to share with you guys. If you give me a second. I'm completely technology out over here. And it's raining a lot, yeah. My best friend's in Miami, and it looked pretty bad from the news. Okay. I'm like the queen of not multitasking. I have good intentions when it comes to multitasking, and then boom, I go sidetracked. Okay, look. So here's a quote that I thought was really good. Today I have tons of pictures. Okay. So hear this out, guys. Your value does not decrease based on someone else's inability to see your worth. Okay. Now you can deep dive into that, but just from a price point, like how do you price your items? If you know that you spend X amount of time creating X amount of product and you go to sell it for, say, hey, I'll sell this whole hat combination to you for $15. And the person's like, girl, that's too much money. Don't let that devalue your work. You would just say, okay, well, that's not, you're not the customer for me. You could even say something like, well, girl, I'm giving this to you for a steal. The next person I'll be selling to them for $25, because at the end of the day, you have to value yourself. So that's where it gets a little bit tricky, is when you try to figure out how much do I sell my information for? How much do I sell my product for? So I've heard people who say that they like to charge 3 times the cost of the supplies. But, think about it from that perspective. Say you get yarn on sale. I'm getting all comfortable. Say you get yarn on sale for $3, right? And if you're doing 3 times that, right, that's $9. And then you charge 3 times the $9. That's $27. If you created a whole Afghan or you created a whole cardigan, would you really want to sell that for $27? You see what I'm saying? Because you're not Walmart. You're not a mass producer of any product. Everything that we create as crocheters is handmade, which means that it's unique, the one of a kind. Because you might drop a stitch on a way up along the chain somewhere, and the next time you do it, you may not do that. That makes it unique. That's that character that you're not necessarily going to get at a box store that's made like over and over again, the same pattern, same product. So people have to respect that uniqueness. Okay. So if you say 3 times the cost of your product, you could be selling yourself short, So you have to really think about it. What are you producing? The cost to produce it, the time that it's going to take you to produce it. Okay. So I typically do not sell my crochet items, right? Because what my niche is, what I enjoy doing is I enjoy learning something, creating it, and then sharing it. That's where I feel like my gift in crocheting is. I learn how to create something. I try to figure out the easiest way to get that relayed to my supporters. And then I may have samples of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made 3 of these. Well, I love all 3 of them. And absolutely, I could sell these, but typically I don't. Typically, I would gift it or whatever, just because what my goal is to make sure that you guys are my new followers or people that want to learn how to crochet, learn how to do it. Okay. But if I were to sell my product, this is how I would do it. Okay. I would give myself a set wage. That's what I would do. If I paid myself, let's just take for instance, guys. If I said I'm going to charge myself I'm going to pay myself $10 an hour, right? And then let's just say I bought the yarn for $5, right? And if it took me 1 hour to create something, then basically I would say $15, which is my wage plus the cost of yarn. And then I would multiply that by 2. So basically, then I'm selling the item for $30. Now, like I said, everybody isn't going to be your customer, you know, but that's where what you're letting your work speak for itself. Sometimes you can create something that's so beautiful that people will pay that, then they'll tell their friend and they'll pay that too. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I have seen so many name brand designers where literally I'm like, I just saw that shoe, the same looking shoe in a lower price store. But because it was made by this designer, people are willing to pay thousands of dollars. So don't devalue yourself, you know what I mean? Because that's your time, that's your energy that you put into your craft, your gift. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's really important, that you guys have to kind of change that mindset. When you decide that you want to go from hobby to income, get it straight. What is your time worth? If you're on a job working, 8 hours a week or 8 hours a day, you're going to make a salary for that. Same goes for your business. You're your employee, right? Hi, Martiz. Is it Martitas? No, Martiza. Martiza? Good morning. Hola. Thank you. Crazy. So I just want you guys to kind of keep that perspective, because again, you're moving from a mindset of gifting to receiving. And sometimes that's hard for us. If we're used to being receivers, of being givers, it's hard to be a receiver. But don't devalue yourself. Put the value on your product and sell it. Now, keep in mind, this is a give and take type of work, type of thing. You can make a pattern. You can make something like this and sell it to someone for $6, $7. And then you make sure. I think I'm going to talk about this. If I don't, let me just go ahead and say it. Get you some labels, guys. Get you some business cards. When you switch over to that mindset, you are your own brand. You're marketing yourself. So I have some little Australian labels that I sometimes put on some of my projects, and especially if I gift it. But you want to put ownership to this. Nike does it. Reebok does it. You know what I'm saying? All these brands do it. You are creating your own brand. So this gets you to that whole word of mouth, which we're going to talk about. But if you brand your stuff, you brand your pictures, you brand your products, it starts to sell itself. That you wouldn't believe how one little label can take this piece to the next level, because it's got ownership to it. It means not just anybody created this textured crochet headband. Ahsel did that. You know what I'm saying? And that takes you from generic to name brand, just like that. That's what gives you people saying, where'd you get that from? Who made that for you? So if you're into selling, your product's now speaking for itself. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, let me not go off into a tangent on that. Basically, figure out your price point, and guys, don't let anybody devalue that. If they can't afford it, they can't pay for it, they don't think it's that much value, say that's fine. Maybe when you save up a little bit, come back and see me. I'll have this for you. You know what I mean? And if it's a family member or friend, be careful about just giving your stuff away to people. In the very beginning, before I honed in on my gift of just sharing and creating and sharing and learning, I used to give people stuff. And when you give somebody something, think about this in life. I don't mean this, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but just think about it. When you give people stuff, the value that they placed on what you gave them is never as great as something that they've paid for, unfortunately. Now, I shouldn't say never because that's such a qualifier, but typically when you give somebody something that they didn't ask for, mind you, they don't value it as much, right? But if they paid for it, you know how that goes. When you put your money where your mouth is, you know, you're going to value that a little bit more. Hey, Handmade Designs, good morning. Hi, Verna, good morning. Craft by Rose, good morning. Good morning. Oh, I said hi. You already? So yeah, change that thought process, okay? All right, so we talked about, and guys, I'm glazing over. This stuff is all written down on my website. So if you're the type of person that likes to take good notes and you want to read and even like head over there, I have it linked I already have it linked, guys. I already have it linked. So if you want to check it out, you can. So people say, where can I sell my items, right? Pre-COVID, you probably could go to like a craft fair, right? Craft fairs. I think word of mouth is probably the best way to really get out what you do. You create something for someone, they purchase it, they love it, they share it. That's how we are in life. If you have how many times I've gone and gotten something good to eat, and I'd be like, y'all have got to try whatever it is. You know what I mean? Word of mouth, that's powerful. Etsy, Rivalry. Now, when you go to online marketplaces, you do have to keep in mind that there are fees associated with that. You know, I don't want to get into the details of the fees of Etsy and Rivalry, but there is a fee. You know, if you post an item, they're going to charge a fee. If you sell an item, they're going to charge you a fee to put the item back out there. So you have to also keep that in mind when you're doing your cost, right? So if you're going to sell something, you want to keep that in mind. Instagram, everybody knows pictures are worth 1,000 words. You know, I do the majority of my pictures with my phone. And I think my pictures turn out. You get you a good phone, good editing software, good lighting, and natural light is the best light, guys. Honestly. Hey, I can go into a whole nother topic about you know, how to set up your pictures, what kind of backdrops you could use. You know, I use a piece of wood that I got from the hardware store for a lot of my backdrops. I use canvas that you do for the backdrops of pictures. I use, for a very long time, I just used a piece of fabric that I got from Joanne as my backdrop on a lot of my tables. So pictures from Instagram, Facebook Marketplace. Let me tell you this one, guys. Good morning, Donna. Let me tell you this, guys. Okay. Let me tell you this, guys. Hey, Pam. Good morning, Pam. How are you? When COVID goes and sits down somewhere, if you're not already doing this is what I would suggest. You know, every city has local coffee shops and local places that people like to be. Make yourself some coffee cozies. I'm telling you guys, this isn't even stuff that I do because I feel like I'm where I want to be right now. But make yourself some coffee cozies. Make 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Take them to that local business and say, hey, can I sell this here? Make sure you got your logo now, guys. Make sure you have your logo on your product, right? Take that to the local coffee shop. And then you work it out with the manager. Can I sell my product here? It's another way to really get your product out there, especially if you're into selling stuff, right? Amazon Marketplace is another place. So, okay, we could go down this whole tangent but you can sell your products. That's the main thing I'm trying to say. How can you turn your income how can you turn your passion or your hobby into income? Selling. Where do you sell it? Those are a few places that I mentioned there. How much you sell it for? That is up to you, but make sure you remember your value. Don't just sell things for the cost of the yarn, guys. That's not good business practices across the board. You know, if we're a crochet community, you don't want to be undercutting everybody so much that it doesn't even make sense for the community. You know what I mean? Like, Why would you sell a blanket for $5? You know what I mean? That's yeah, okay. Think about those things, okay? Crochet patterns. If you enjoy, I'm speeding through, guys, because remember I told you I'm keeping my time today. If you enjoy writing your patterns out, you can sell them. That is very good passive income. You create the pattern once, maybe two or three, a few times. You create the pattern though, you work the pattern, you work your project from your pattern. You can get pattern testers. This is other people in the IT that enjoy helping that way. And then you sell it. You sell it. You take the time though, guys. There's a quality to doing patterns. You'll find that too. Once you start purchasing patterns, I would always strive to tell people that want to sell patterns to think of it as if you were purchasing it. How would it make sense for you? Make it make sense, okay? So if this is a skill set that you have, why not? If you do the first thing I mentioned, which is your blog, you can have your patterns on your blog. If you don't want to Etsy and Rivalry, you want to cut out that middleman price that they're going to charge you, you can sell your patterns on your blog. Okay. There's some upfront cost to all of it, but so if I should have said, I should have flipped it. You should maybe do number 2 first, sell some crochet items, make you some money, then do your blog, then do your pattern writing. You see what I'm saying? Make it make sense. Give yourself some order. Does that all make sense? I feel like I'm rambling, but guys, if you can throw something in there at me that I did not cover, or let me know. I'm cool. I'm cool with learning more things, and I'll update my website accordingly. You know what I mean? I'm just scrolling up a little bit to make sure that I didn't miss any questions. Hey, how about doing this? If you have a question, or if you have something that you want me to add, if you write it in all caps, then I'll definitely see it. How about something like that? Okay. So we've done that. Where can you sell your patterns? I kind of brushed on that. Your own website, Etsy, Rivalry. Those are places that you can sell your patterns. Lovecraft.com. If you are really good at your craft and you're really good at writing patterns, you can get into crochet magazines. One of the companies you guys already know, if I haven't mentioned it already, I'm sure I have, Knit Crate. I work with Knit Crate. Every year, Knit Crate sends out a email that says, hey, we're looking for patterns. If you want to put out a pattern, let us know, and maybe we can work together. So yarn box companies are looking for that, because every month they have a subscription-based program that's going to provide you with yarn and a pattern. So right there, they're going to need 12 designers or more. Because with Knit Crate, they have 2 patterns per month. So that's another way. Once you get good at what you're doing, you get good feedback. That's another thing about Etsy and Rivalry and places like that. When you put the pattern out there, ask for feedback. All this stuff is, you can revamp it and rework it. If it didn't make sense for 2 or 3 people, there's probably a problem with your pattern. And get that feedback and fix it, so that your next pattern is on point, so that the next time you can go from your own website to someone else's website. People make thousands of dollars in patterns a year. That's not my blessing yet, but I'm claiming it. You know what I'm saying? You just have to do the work. You have to do the work. I bought patterns and they're not totally correct. I have bought books and patterns, and the books are not totally correct. So I'm kind of like, do I really get the work? Wait, so I'm kind of like, don't really get that well. You're right. And that's the thing. And when you Craft by Rose, when you get a pattern that's not right, especially from like a place where you can speak directly to, in a book, sometimes it is what it is. You can't really contact the author sometimes. But like if you purchase a pattern from somebody, ask for feedback. A lot of times they're going to say there's no refunds and stuff like that. And that's part for the course. But you can still provide that person with feedback. So that way they can get it better. Like, why would you want to have a Etsy shop with 1,000 patterns sold, but they only help 4 people? You know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So if you say it from a place of, hey, I'm just trying to provide, and when you said go from row 2 to row 3, just give them some clarity on that. But I mean, that's not even really like your job as the person that purchased it, but it's just that feedback that can help them. You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, on the other side of that pattern is the person that wrote the pattern, and they're human too. So if you can give them constructive feedback, not that this just sucks, that could help them, I think. Yeah, I would receive help like that. Absolutely. I don't know. That's just my thoughts, guys. Okay, so another thing, we talked about the crochet subscription boxes. You can also teach other people how to crochet. So this is where I sit. This is what I enjoy doing. If you watch any of my older videos to my newer videos, I've hoped that over time they've gotten a lot better, lighting, quality, sound. But that's also a growing thing. It's the same thing. Like if you were to watch a show from 1980s versus a show from now, the quality, the sound, everything's going to be different, right? So you have to, that's the point. You want to teach somebody something, but keep in mind that they're people and they're trying to grow and they're trying to show you how to do something, and they're not going to be perfect, but teaching is good. Sometimes you can Google the right tab for the pattern and the correction of how to help. That's true. Yes, especially with rivalry. And yeah, like the other day I purchased a pattern from a lady, and she made a correction, and then it automatically generated an email for me to go look at the new pattern because she updated it. Good morning, Donna. Second Donna. So teaching others how to crochet. So there are places that you have YouTube, which is what the platform that we're on now. Skillshare, Udemy. You have your own website. I've seen, and I'm really interested in doing this, where you kind of carve out a space on your website, and you have even deeper instructional videos and information for people that subscribe to your platform, or you provide a membership perk. I'm definitely interested in doing something like that. But YouTube, I'm not sure how many of you guys that are on here now have a YouTube platform. But that's a good opportunity for you to start that whole process of teaching. I know one of my cousins literally has done her whole YouTube platform from her phone, and she's got well over 70,000 followers because there's so much technology now in our phones. So it's not about just having a camera, like the high-end cameras. It's really about just getting the good angle and starting to share what you know. And oftentimes when you start sharing, you learn more. You know what I mean? Like when you create something and you teach somebody else it, you learn more. So YouTube is a great platform. The way YouTube works, though, you have to have a partnership with them in order for you to start gaining income through ads running along the videos. So if you ever hear a content creator say, thumbs up the video or watch the ads or watch it to the end, all of that goes into the algorithm, the back end part of YouTube. And us on this end, like if I'm watching a video to just learn something, I don't really understand all that stuff. And I don't necessarily know that I care about all that stuff. But if you start creating, you'll understand it a little bit more, how important it is to provide engagement and feedback to the person that's creating the content. So content creators have things they have to cover in order for their videos and things to be successful. But that's a great way to take your hobby to income. You put out a video, it does well, it goes, the search engine picks it up. You've got good SEO, which is search engine. That's a whole, okay. You've got good information in the video. You start getting ads running in your videos, on your videos, before your videos. And that makes you revenue. Okay. And then let's see what else. And then also too, guys, if you ever have, like, if you have a knack for teaching in person, oftentimes local rec centers, this is all, mind you, COVID's not going to be here hopefully forever. So as a business, as a person who's moving into a business, take notes, because why it might not be relevant right now, in a year from now, it might be, right? So if you work at a rec center, if you have rec centers around you, senior citizen homes, um, schools, after school programs, these are all opportunities for you to be able to teach and crochet. You know, you could charge $5 and for the sign up, simple things, church groups. Look for all these opportunities to go out, especially if you're comfortable. If you're comfortable teaching, I think YouTube is a nice way to get comfortable teaching. You know, because you're behind the camera, you can cut it, you can rewind it, you can edit it. Where if you're in person, it's a little bit more. You know, but you know, if you really want to learn how to crochet quickly, try to teach a bunch of kids how to crochet. They will humble you very quickly, you know. So, but anyway, that's just a way that you can take your talent and start making income, right? How are we on time? Ooh, okay. I got one more point, guys. We're getting good on. Oh my goodness, I'm proud of myself, guys. Okay, we talked about pattern writing. Someone had mentioned earlier, Craft by the Rose had mentioned that she bought patterns before and they just been pretty much garbage, right? There are crochet tech writers, right? These are people that literally this is where you can make money. If you know you have a gift for attention to detail, you can have someone send their patterns to you, right? And then you can edit it for them. It's the same way you have like authors that have editors. Crochet pattern writer, tech editors, they do the same thing. So they'll make sure that you have consistency in your patterns. You have consistency in your flow. If you use SC a lowercase SC for single crochet in the beginning, you do the same thing at the end. So that's another way that you can make money. You know, if you know you put that information out there that, hey, I'll review your patterns. I'll review as many patterns as I can review in 30, do 30-minute increments. Charge someone $20 for 30 minutes, and they can give you as many patterns as you can get through. If you know you're good at the detail of it all, that would help develop the consistency that a pattern writer needs, especially if you have a pattern writer that's trying to take that skill from just their website to maybe a subscription box where the masses will have it. You know, there are things I really don't understand about YouTube and how they business with us, how they do business with us. Like, what do you mean, like, Craft by the Rose? Like, what business, how they do business with us? I mean, if you don't mind giving a detail, maybe we can discuss it a little bit. Because we might have the same concerns, girl. We could have the same concerns. Hey, Kay, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm on a time schedule today, girl. I'm going to be on it. I'm gonna get in and get out today. So yeah, I mean that's just another way of making money. I mean, what are some? I might have missed it, and I don't even know who all's still in here with me. But is there any other avenues that you guys can think of that can help crocheters turn their hobby into income? Because I only pointed out 5, but I'm sure there are like tons more that I'm just not even thinking about, that I didn't even include. Are there any that you guys can think about that I've seen some people also do bundles, which that is super. One of my cousins gave me the idea a long time ago, but I didn't have that confidence that I said about what I talked about earlier. But I'm sorry, guys. I didn't have that confidence, but I think bundles are great. You get with a yarn creator, you get your pattern together, you guys kind of team up, and then you sell the whole bundle. I think that's a great way. I'm trying to get direct to the library to teach young people how to crochet. I think that's a good idea. I really, now that I'm walking in this different direction and I feel differently about what I'm doing, like honestly, moving the hobby to income has just changed literally the way I look at all of this. Like I really, I still have the spirit of help and I really still want to help everybody, but I get it now from a brand perspective. Like, and so going out into the community now doesn't seem nearly as, you know, overwhelming as it once did. Yeah, I think it's super cool. Church groups too, like how they always have the youth group. You'd be surprised how many young girls still want to learn stuff like this. You know what I mean? Like, not every girl that's preteen wants to, just wear makeup. Some of them still have a thought for arts. You know what I mean? And they enjoy stuff like this. And yeah, I absolutely agree. So, guys, anyway, I mean, I don't, unless you guys have like a whole, like anything else that you really want to add, I just think that it's important. The first thing that really change your thought process about it, like really start thinking, um, what do you want out of it? You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, literally my goal was just to buy yarn. I can buy yarn now. Okay. You know what I mean? I can definitely buy yarn now. My goal, and then I moved my goal, and it was to just, at the time I wanted to get my nails done because when in my earlier videos, that was important. I wanted my nails done, child. Not as important so much anymore. So I started working until I could get enough budget to get my nails done. So basically what I was doing was just creating enough income to support the hobby. And now, I have enough income to do other things as well. But I just kept moving the goal a little bit, a little bit. And I tell you, when I got my first quarter, like literally a quarter, when I saw my Google AdSense gave me a quarter, y'all, I celebrated the same way I celebrated when I got my first subscriber. I was running around the house in a circle. You would have thought I got $1 billion because I just could not believe that something that I love doing gave me a quarter. You know what I mean? I don't know why I devalued it so much, but it was so monumental because I was like, really? I just got money for doing something that I enjoy doing that I was going to do anyway. So it's just that those little moments, of success points. When I got my first 100 subscribers, I was jumping up and down. I remember in the very, very, very beginning, of course, nobody knew my channel. I didn't know anything. I would go watch my videos on a bunch of different devices. Everybody was subscribed to me in this house just so I could see my views go up. I'm like, but then when I got my first genuine view, I was like, that wasn't even from me. That was so exciting. Thank you so much. That you can also, consignment shops. It's another place. Yeah, good idea. Shayla, thanks. A good idea. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Foreman, aka Kenneth Oaks. I appreciate that. But how to do business with us. One thing I find now when you go get your video monitor right, it's a new, different way. And I don't know really how to understand. Oh, so when you try to get your videos monetized, it all kind of switches up. Yeah, YouTube has some really funny. Their pathway to partnership is a little wonky. But let me just say this. One thing I can say for YouTube on how you can is consistency matters. You know what I mean? Before, when I first started YouTube like 4 years ago, I literally was just doing it as a part-time thing. I would put up a video every now and then, and it still didn't seem to have that much of an impact on my views or whatever. But now, the way YouTube is set up, literally, you have to figure out a consistency in your scheduling. And not so much because YouTube is going to push your video eventually, right? But you have to create that consistency where people know to come back to look for you. It's like, think of it like a TV show. If you know you love, I'm going to just go with Different World because that was my favorite TV show. If I loved Different World and it came on Thursdays night at 7 o'clock, I was going to be there. Back in the day, we used to set our VCRs. I would set my VCR if I wasn't going to be there so that I can watch it. But if you're all over the place, so if I had to look for Different World on Tuesdays or Fridays, they're going to lose that people that are interested in them. So consistency really matters, especially in the beginning, because you really want to make sure that your people are showing up for you. Once you get that, YouTube will then push a video. Typically, YouTube, well, my experience has been that they pick one of your videos and they push it. You want to have content on your channel, and this is a whole nother, guys, this is a whole nother video, but you want to have enough content on your channel that when they finally pick up your video to push it, that you have enough content where people want to stay. You know what I'm saying? Imagine going to a store and it says sell all outside of the store. So imagine YouTube is a sell and you push that sell. And then when people get into the store, there's nothing in there. There's no content. There's no product. They're not going to come back. And YouTube looks at that. The algorithm looks at that engagement. So my suggestion would be to be consistent. Just keep your course. If this is what you want to do and you want to do YouTube and you want to create content, create your content. Create yourself a schedule. And like I said, this is a whole nother video I'm sure I could do, but just create your content and stick to your schedule. And it's like that old saying, if you build it, they will come. You know, so that's my spill on that. So, okay, guys, look at the time. I'm done, y'all. Let me see what I got here before I chime off. See you later. Yes, see you later. Thank you so much, Kenneth. Vivian, I didn't see you in here. Hey, Vivian, I didn't even see you. You snuck in. Okay, so you got the monitor edition. You're welcome, Veronica. And you honestly, Debbie, that is good. People make tons just doing just that. You know, my issue is I crochet slow. I don't crochet super fast, you know, and it's not because I don't think I can. I'm easily distracted, easily. So if you know you can crank something out, stay focused and get it done, that's awesome. I wouldn't try to do much else. I would do what I do. You know what I mean? Hey, Dana, I need to talk to you later. Okay, so that was for Dana. Okay. Make sure I'm getting everything. Guys, okay, make sure. All right. Thank you very much. Everyone just, okay, cool. Crochet slow too, yes. What's a pretty butterfly? Did you make a butterfly? I didn't see it. Thank you, Helen. I really do appreciate it. So that's pretty much, I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything, guys, because I ramble sometimes too. So that's another thing. Next week, we may just have another chit chat show. I enjoyed chit chatting with you guys. I really did. We got into a tangent last week about food and pizza, and I left my live hungry is what happened. But if you guys have any other, like if you have anything you want me to deep dive into, I would be more than happy to discuss that. If you want to get deeper into YouTube and how it works and what my experiences have been with YouTube, let me know. I'll discuss that. You know, I go all the way up into a point that I feel comfortable discussing, but we can talk about all of that from my perspective. Again, I'm not a YouTube guru. I haven't been doing it my whole life. And honestly, I've really only gotten serious probably within the last 6 to 8 months, where I've literally said I'm going to be consistent. But I'll be happy to share the knowledge that I have. Okay. All right, guys, you crocheted some lips. Cool. Oh my gosh. Yes, thank you guys. If you don't mind giving me those thumbs up, we just talked about algorithms and things like that, and I'm learning more about that thanks to Dana. Dana is really enlightening me more on the thumbs and things like that. Like, because I used to do it so part-time. I just put stuff out there, but now the way YouTube is working, they need to know people are engaged. That's why live chats are so good, because you get that instantaneous engagement. So, and I like it from my perspective because I like talking to people. I've noticed that I like talking to people even more now that we've been quarantined. So, all right, guys. So don't forget the thumbs up. Veronica, do you have a show today? Do you have a show today? I can't remember if you have one today. If you do, guys. Yes, we'll see you next week, God willing. I will be here Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. First time on your live, you're wonderful. Thank you so much, Donna. I hope you join us next time. Bye, 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 everyone. I really do appreciate it. If still the show Crochet and Chef, she usually has a show around 11:30. If she does, you guys go check that out. And thank you, Dana, so much for sending the raid. I loved it. You guys are super awesome. I'm going to get my day started with my daughter. You guys, and I will see you in my next live chat and my next video. It should be going up hopefully tomorrow or Friday. Crochet gloves, okay? So I'll see you guys soon, okay? Oh, okay. Veronica says today at 11:30. So if you're still here, check out Veronica. She does a crochet show at 11:30. All right. You're welcome. Have a great day. And your daughter oh, thank you. Thank you, Claudette. You guys are so wonderful. Bye. Good time. Yes.